Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. That light is probably horrifically bright on my face, but it is the morning. We're in the middle of nowhere and it's quite dark. Well, I say the middle of nowhere. My grandparents live just down in that little village over there called Commondale, and we're coming to, from my point of view, I haven't really seen a view better. So I'm going to call it possibly one of the best views in the North East Moorland. I know this is called North Yorkshire, but I couldn't quite call it the whole of North Yorkshire because that is a big county. But this view is stunning. And I was hoping for a few things this morning. I haven't got all of them. Fingers crossed we're going to pull something together pretty magical. So I suppose I should get set up and get it on my camera. Okay, good morning. So I've got all set up and I've captured my first little reel of images. So I'm trying to decide on whether it's bright enough or whether it's too hot, or, you know, lighting, all fun and games. Anyway, so yeah, I've got it all set up. I've gone for a 70mm shot on a 5:4 crop. The first thing I did is I tried to get it focused. Now, luckily for me, in the town over yonder, in a town called Castletown, there are lights on, and them lights are doing wonders for my focusing because I chose a light. So I zoomed in and sharpened on that. You'll see the images here. And then what happened was I then got my composition correct. The first shots, the way I was testing my exposure and testing my composition, I was cutting out the train track on the left hand side, which is no good. It's no good at all. So I had to shift my camera across, swing it, get the town centralized, get the train track down, coming through the bottom right, through to the left, up through the middle, into the town. And it looks awesome. And what I love about this composition is the fact that you've got a hill in the middle of a valley. So it's like a long leg coming down through the middle, and the town's just perfectly spread out across the top of that hill. And it looks awesome. Then what I did is I worked on capturing the lights in that town. So you can see on this shot just here, nothing's overexposed, too overexposed, apart from the sky itself. And the sky itself is not super important at the moment, because at the moment, all it is this yellowy glow. And I don't want a yellow glow, really. I would like to wait a little bit longer and see if I can get a nice fat cloud just above the town. But as you may notice, I've not left much sky in that shot. And the reason why is because I'm not convinced I'm going to get that fat cloud. So instead of wasting space in my megapixels and having to crop down and losing all that information, I've decided to crop out the sky completely anyway in the composition itself, and then just hope maybe a slight little wisp of cloud comes and joins me. But the main shot here is the train line. And I'm going to stay here until 7:45 when the train arrives in Commondale, just down there. My big choice is whether I should do a fast shutter speed and capture the train in full motion, or capture it still, or do a longer shutter speed and hopefully possibly get a light trail from the train. If I had a flash as well, that would be perfect, but you know, you can't have it all. But this shot all works off. It's going to give it justice. And that is what I'm going to name this vlog. Trying to do it justice. But we'll talk about later on what I was hoping to get. So you should be able to see me now, and you might also see that Pauline is just over here. She has been lovely and brought me some coffee. Also, there's a little Rosie over here. Hey, Rosie. But the train has been, and I decided to go for a 2-second timer on my shots, and I'm hoping that I can stitch the light trail together. But look at that fat cloud that is about to go over Castletown. Now, if the sun comes up at the same time as that fat cloud gets over Castletown, at the same time the light hits Castletown, we've got something special here, guys. It's all falling into place. But when I was walking up earlier on, I did say that there was something I really wished had been here this morning. And occasionally there is mist on this side of Castletown and on the far side of Castletown, and you can be just above it where we're stood here. That would have been absolutely epic. The lights of the train coming through that mist with Castletown getting lit up. That would have been perfect. But it's looking pretty good, okay? It's one of the perks of living in an area. You can come back and you can shoot it again and again and again and again and again. And fingers crossed next time I get that mist. So right now behind me is one of the biggest problems of trying to shoot through time. If you look at that sky above, absolutely magnificent. But I have gone for a tighter composition. And what I have tried to get is the light trails coming along from the train and the lights in the town. And I've captured them things. I've captured them already. But the sky is absolutely on fire, but not where my camera's pointed, not in my composition. So one of the biggest things of shooting through time is, do I just scrap it and go for something completely different? Well, not completely different, but including that amazing sky. Because if you look on the back of my camera, you'd think, oh, that might be in your shot, Kieran. Don't you worry, what you on about? Nah, look at that. It's not in there at all. But what I have got is I've got this sneaky little cloud coming along the top of that horizon, which is looking pretty good. But it is not that. That is absolutely beautiful. Dilemmas. Everything is starting to happen. My fingers are going blue. Nah, it's not that bad. It's pretty cold though. Fresh. What do you reckon, Pauline?
Very fresh.
Very fresh. Rosie over here is having a lovely time, aren't you, Rosie?
She's shivering.
She looks very cold. Morning photography. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. But anyway, so I've now got colour in the sky. Check out this shot. Beautiful. The cloud was nice and thick though. Over there, dissipated right where I needed it to be, nice and thick. I've got a lovely light beam just about to come across the top of that hill. What I need it to do is to hit the town before the sun gets high enough that it's pointing straight into my lens. And that is going to be the challenge right now. Is the sun going to come into the valley, light up the town before it hits my lens? Also, I did get a second chance at the train, had the wrong shutter speed and still ended up with drag. Yeah, calculated it wrong, which is a massive shame really, because I'd quite like to get the second shot of the train still, but messed it up. But isn't that beautiful? Now, can you see why I said this might be the best composition of this area? Just the way the train loops round Castletown on that hill, valley behind, valley in front. It's prominent. I wish it was autumn and I had orange trees as well, but you can't have it all. But very excitingly, there's some light. The race is on. Is that light going to get to me before it hits the town? Okay, so here comes the sun. And I've got the sun off lens just over here, but it's creating a very incredibly hot part of the picture. So luckily, I think I have just in my bag one of these. Whether this is going to be big enough to be able to block out that sun, I doubt. But at this point, every little bit would do. Okay, so I don't know if it's blocked out that much light, but I can always go for the hand shield. There we are. So I'm going to go for that technique, and I'm going to get my next shot because that light coming into that valley is beautiful. Now I'm going to leave you just watching it change because it's pretty stunning. Now imagine that with some mist in the valley and the lights coming through the train, and oh, it would be epic. Conditions, beautiful. Morning photography, pretty good. I could ask for more, but then, you know, it's one of them, isn't it? But for me, I think that is going to be all from this morning's vlog. It's been brisk. It's been beautiful, and hopefully it's been worth it. So yeah, I'll see you next week, people. Have a lovely week, and next week's vlog, it's going to be special. Make sure you tune in.